Yeah, of course, obviously, yeah, we consider that, of course, very, very tragic. Um, it's also a crime. I think because of this, they are using the excuse that we had on March the 20th, International Judge of Koran Day. The Quran was found guilty, and as a form of punishment, the Quran was burned. I believe that they are using that as an excuse, which they will use any excuse to promote their violent activities. I believe that it is definitely time for the United States government, for the United Nations. We must take a serious, serious look at Islam. It is a violent religion. It promotes acts of violence. I believe that we need to bring this before the UN. The UN needs to demand that Muslim-dominated countries change their laws, that they institute freedom of religion, freedom of speech, that they stop their persecution, their killing of minorities and Christians. I believe this is just a further example of how violent this religion is.
But how do you feel about the fact that at least 8 international personnel working for the UN have been killed as a result of anger sparked by an act that you encouraged?
How do we feel? Of course, we feel terrible. We feel absolutely, there are no words to describe that. I mean, human lives have been lost, people have been killed, have been murdered. Of course, that is beyond tragical. But I think we definitely have to call these people to accountability.
Do you feel responsible?
Use that as an excuse. Excuse me?
Do you feel responsible?
We are absolutely not responsible. No, we are not responsible for their actions. That is an excuse. If they did not use the Quran burning as an excuse, they would have a different excuse. When they flew the planes into the buildings on 9/11, they also probably had an excuse. They use our government as an excuse because we are in Afghanistan, because we are in the Middle East. They use any excuse that they desire to use.
When you say they, who exactly are you referring to? Because the people who drove planes into the Twin Towers are not the people who are demonstrating in the northern city, Afghan city of Mazar-e Sharif, are they?
I am saying they as the radical element of Islam. We have always tried to make it very, very clear here in the United States that we are not against Muslims. We recognize their freedoms here, what of course we do not have in their countries. We recognize their freedom of religion, their freedom of speech, their freedom to build mosques. That is for us here in the United States of America not a problem. What we do demand is that they honor, obey, and submit to the Constitution of the United States, to the laws of the land, and do not become violent or do not try to replace our laws with Sharia. So my statements are by no means directed to the general Muslim community who are also possibly against these type of actions, but definitely against the radical element of Islam.